As of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 18, Kawaki tried to get Amado to boost his offensive powers. Kawaki was given a new karma thanks to Amado. However, his powers have been capped due to Amado's plan of reviving his daughter Akabe. Amado will need to keep Kawaki alive or else his plan will be completely wasted and there would be no point of Amado's use within the story. After shutting Kawaki down, Amado explained to him that he will boost his powers in order to fight the Shinju since they have become a threat that not even Amado anticipated. He tells Kawaki that he will modify his powers to become more stronger on the offensive side to be able to fight them, however, only on one condition: to implant a karma onto a clone in order to revive his daughter Akabe. However, Kawaki rejects his idea because he suspects that Akabe could turn out to be an Otsutsuki. In today's video, I want to discuss if Akabe's revival could be the introduction of a brand new Otsutsuki in the story. Kawaki rejects the idea of reviving her through his karma since he wants to eliminate all of the Otsutsuki, and having to reborn another one would be counterintuitive to his plan. As understood back in Boruto Part 1, Amado had access to Akabe's memories, including her brain and genetic makeup, since she was dying of illness that had no cure. In order to save her, instead of trying to help the original Akabe, he decided to make a new body for her to live in, via cloning. This was something that he was familiar with since he spent years developing the Kara cyborgs and seemed easier than developing brand new technology. Once Akabe died, he created a new version of her with the same exact appearance and memories, but she was a complete stranger to Amado. There was no humanity that existed inside of Akabe that any normal human had, including Amado, which is why he failed so many times to actually create her. It was not possible for Amado to create a human that existed before, and was only possible through the domain of gods and their abilities, aka the Otsutsuki. We know the Otsutsuki clan have the ability to resurrect themselves thanks to the karma, as we've seen characters attempt to bypass permanent death, such as with Ishiki and Momoshiki, but ultimately failed due to narrative implications created by the Leaf Village. An Otsutsuki that we know was able to successfully revive their soul was Shibai Otsutsuki, who kept reviving himself until he became strong enough to become a god after devouring so many chakra fruits over several millennia. Amado figured this out after meeting Jigen, who had the same idea with the revival of Ishiki, where Amado became inspired by Shibai's continued resurrections that he plans to revive Akebi the same exact way. Since Amado had access to Akebi's memories and DNA, he stored them into Kawaki's reconstructed karma, where the karma, unlike any other technological advancement, can give a soul to a person, which is what Amado is betting on to give humanity to his daughter. Essentially, he's trying to bring back Akabe as a human being that recognizes him as her own father, and not just as a complete stranger like he has done in past failed attempts. This is why Kawaki was suspecting that Akabe could be an Otsutsuki, since we know that only Otsutsuki have been proven to be able to undergo karmic resurrection. No ordinary human has been able to do it, and since we have only witnessed one true resurrection in the series, which is when Ishiki revived himself through Jigen's karma, Akabe could have some ties to being an Otsutsuki. Amado isn't liking what Kawaki is saying to him about Akabe, so he threatens to kill Kawaki if it turns out to be true that Akabe resurrected as an Otsutsuki. I noted this in my chapter review, but it's very odd that Amado doesn't outright deny that Akabe doesn't have any connection to the Otsutsuki. Knowing how bloodlusted Kawaki gets when he wants to kill one, such as with Boruto, Amado should be much smarter than that to not let Kawaki become skeptical of Akabe's origins, if this isn't true at all. He is not even defending his own daughter's genetic makeup, that she's just an ordinary human, but rather egging on a confrontation between him and Kawaki. It's as if he's defensive about this, and understandably so, since that's his daughter. However, this leads to Kawaki rejecting this deal of implanting the karma onto the clone to bring Akabe back. He only agrees to revive his daughter once he kills all the characters he wants to eliminate, which will be a problem since this includes somebody like Boruto, and that may not happen for a while or at all for the rest of 2 Blue Vortex. When it comes to Kawaki, he's a pure Otsutsuki similar to Ishiki, Momoshiki, and the rest of the purebreds simply because he was given a compatible karma. Kawaki alludes to this back in part 1 when he was talking to Boruto on how to defeat Code, where he reveals that he and Boruto can implant a karma onto somebody in order to prepare a vessel. In Akabe's case, the clone that Amado prepared would become Kawaki's vessel, but the karma has Akabe's DNA stored inside of it, making it possible to bring her back. Whenever a vessel is implanted with the karma, they quickly gain the genetic makeup of an Otsutsuki, as seen with Boruto, Kawaki, and Jigen as well. Over time, they become a purebred Otsutsuki Otsutsuki, which Kawaki alludes Akabe could become. Akabe may not be a purebred Otsutsuki originally when she was alive and before she died of a terminal illness, but she has the potential to become Otsutsuki-fied, like everyone who has had the karma implanted onto their bodies. Amado clearly has a goal that he is not alluding to and is much deeper than just reviving his daughter. Back when he was explaining to Naruto about Shibai Otsutsuki, he reveals that he has access to Shibai's remains, including his DNA and cells, where he used them to modify the other cyborgs as seen in the story, including Ada, Code, Damon, and Kashinkoji. Each of these characters have a unique Shinjutsu ability that once belonged to Shibai. Amado has already digitized that of Akabe onto Kawaki's karma, and whenever Kawaki does implant that karma onto a clone's body, there could be a scenario where Amado also inserted Shibai's data alongside Akabe's as well, inside of the karma, which could awaken another Shinjutsu technique for Akabe if she is in fact revived at some point within the story. This could mean that Akabe could have her own Shinjutsu technique that is powerful in her own right that Amado has been looking for, or potentially to follow in the steps of Shibai, who has transcended into a higher plane after resurrecting so many times over again. Amado is still a very mysterious character despite being as open as possible when it comes to providing information and not posing as a threat to the Leaf Village, but rather being a good guy. I can't put my finger on it yet, but I still think he's up to something when it comes to Akabe. He's so adamant on reviving her, and he expressed it quite clearly that if Kawaki were to ever die, his dreams would die too. And in my personal opinion, I believe his dreams are much deeper than just reviving his daughter, but potentially being something similar to Shibai. What if Amado wants to obtain immortality just like how Shibai has done to bypass death over the past few millennia? Is this why he's implanting Shibai cells into cyborgs to have characters do the work for him, since he knows he can control them via an emergency shutdown code? We've already seen Amado turn off characters like Delta and Kawaki, and the other cyborgs that have been created by Amado most likely have a shutdown option as well, including Koji, Damon, and Ada, which is why he hasn't shown much concern for these characters when they have popped up within the story. There's an underlying truth when it comes to Amado's character, and we the audience have no idea about it just yet. Akabe clearly is a play for a much deeper and darker plan for Amado, and while Kawaki prodding about her potentially being an Otsutsuki has opened some pathways on what he potentially wants, because I truly think it's more than just reviving his daughter. So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. How do you feel about Amado's plan of reviving Akabe, and tell me, do you think it's much deeper than just a revival of his daughter? Amado clearly is letting on more than what we believe, and it makes me suspect that he knows about something that is contained within Kawaki's karma that will be available for Akabe that no one will expect anytime within the story. Throughout the entirety of the Boruto series, Amado has been somewhat of a narrator when it comes to telling information, and I truly believe he is leading characters into a different direction on what he truly wants. Meaning, I think at some point he's gonna flip the entire story around when nobody expected this. I think at some point whenever Amado reveals his true intentions, it's going to be on the level of omnipotence in my personal opinion. I don't think anyone saw the omnipotence event coming, even though it was foreshadowed a little bit by Momoshiki. I think we may get something on that level whenever Amado reveals the actual truth on what he truly wants after he gets to see Akabe get revived. Hopefully we get to discover this truth sooner or later. However, with Kawaki wanting to kill all of the characters on his hit list, including the likes of the Shinju, Boruto, and Code, Amado may just have to comply with Kawaki right now in the story in order to get what he wants later. So I know for a matter of fact, whenever Akabe gets revived, we're going to get a lot more information pertaining about Amado's true plan. So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.